Day when Nikon unveiled the Z9, an iconic king of cameras, and rolled out its RAW format video shooting feature. Red One sued the Nikon for infringing on their exclusive patent for in-camera compressed RAW format. But then, not long after, Nikon deep-pocketed as ever, went and bought out RED. So after over a year of working things out, Nikon finally rolled out last year this machine of dual lineage. This is ZR right here in my hands. See, the body bears both the Nikon and RED logos. The core outcome of their partnership is the introduction of RED's proprietary RAW format video. Yes, that R3DNE format. Okay, so today let us chat more about the Nikon ZR. My first impression upon holding it is how very light it is. It is geared towards solo photography. It ditches that traditional, chunky grip. So for long handheld shoots, you will need to use your left hand to support the lens for extra stability. But for such a compact body, those trade-offs are totally understandable. Plus, if you add a third-party camera cage and hand grip, the grip feel gets much better. But what really stands out is this 4-inch foldable large screen. Its display so crisp. Outdoors, you pretty much do not need to attach a monitor. I think that is a spot-on design choice. But that large screen does come at a cost. Fewer buttons. Just 2 dials and a menu key. You have to long press the I key to get to the menu. That takes some getting used to. But touch controls can fully make up for that. Plus, for newbies, touch is even more intuitive. Plus, its vertical menu layout is well adapted. When shooting short videos, the menus display just fine, which is super user-friendly. But what puzzles me a bit is the storage card slots. They use a TF Express Type B plus micro SD combo. Micro SD cards are not that common in cameras, so swapping it for a standard SD card would make it even better. Plus, its card slot and battery bay sit together, so if you swap cards mid-shoot, you have to take the battery bay off, which is a bit of a hassle. Now, for the body, let us zero in on the lens that comes with it. Nikon's NIKKOR Z 28-135mm f/4PZ, the very one I mentioned just now. This lens is Nikon's one and only electric zoom lens for a full frame, made purely for video. Once mounted on the camera, it feels much lighter than its specs suggest, and the balance is super even. No front heavy issues at all. Plus, this lens looks pretty flat, very compact, ready. This lens's core feature, of course, is its electric zoom. With classic lenses, you rely on twisting the zoom ring by hand to adjust focal length, which makes getting a super smooth zoom. This lens packs a built-in electric motor with 11 levels of zoom speed adjustment, and the zoom lever on the lens body is pressure sensitive. The harder you press, the faster it zooms. The lighter you press, the slower it zooms. That makes perfect sense. Of course, when paired with the Nikon ZR body, the dial next to its record button can also be set for zoom control. With just one index finger, you can easily zoom in or out. Plus, its dial is pressure sensitive too. So the harder you press, the faster it zooms. Plus, the camera screen shows the current focal length in real time. Super intuitive. Most importantly, this lens has extremely minimal focus breathing. When switching between near and far focus, you can barely feel any shift in perspective, which is crucial for serious video creation. As for focal range, 28-135mm is pretty much ideal for daily travel or everyday creative work. At 28mm, street or blind shooting lets you frame subjects neatly, unlike 24mm, which often includes scatter. Plus, if you zoom out to 85mm or 135mm for portraits, the background blur and its backlit, look fantastic. 2. It is bokeh rivals that of a pro portrait lens. Of course, many folks might worry, is this f4 aperture enough? My take is, shooting video isn't like taking photos. More often, you want that sense of the scene. After all, when shooting video, you can't just blur the background into oblivion. In fact, the depth of field from f4 is more than enough. Your shots will feel very narrative-driven, and shooting by day is pretty much a breeze. Plus, there's a hidden feature if you pair it with the Nikon ZR In wheel mode, you can enable high-quality digital zoom to losslessly extend that 135mm out to 190mm. If you switch to a high-pixel body like the Z8 or Z9, that extends to 270mm. A video-only feature not found in still shooting at all. This lens has an internal zoom design worth a shout-out, too. Throughout the focal range shift, its lens body length stays constant, and its center of gravity remains very stable, which bodes well for creators who need to shoot handheld for long stretches or use a stabilizer. Its built-in tripod collar offers more mounting flexibility. Quick sum up, the Nikon ZR12, the 28 to 135 PZ kit, just one body, one lens, means you likely will not need to swap lenses. Then, with one camera, one lens, you will get cinematic shots. As for image quality, at this price point, it is pretty much top tier. Sharpness and picture detail are well balanced with no overly digital feel to it. They are both a huge array of video codecs, likely the most diverse of any camera out there right now. Like 12-bit and REW, RSVDNE, ProRes REW, 10-bit, H.265. There are so many common raw format specs are 6K, 4K 50fps, and 4K 120fps, though that last one's less 35 crop. H.265 can even record 1080p at 240 frames per second, covering most use cases. So for high-demand films or short films, just use the R3D-NE format. For me, if I need footage for fine-tuning in post, I would pick the RCD-NE format. RED's IPP2 color workflow gives great straight out-of-camera looks, especially natural skin tones. Its highlights roll-off is super smooth, yielding that straight out-of-camera RED cinema feel. Of course, for day shoots, 10B H.265 surfaces and saves car space. A flash M, it is 4:2 to 0 sampling, not 4:2 to 2. Plus, the ZR's dynamic range hits 15 stops. So for high contrast scenes, it captures details in both highlights and shadows. Plus, its dual native ISO of 800 and 6400. ISO 800, the low sensitivity footage, has super clean noise control, provided you nail the exposure, and do not shoot too underexposed. Though the Nikon ZR is a cinema camera, a quick word on its deals. Think of it as a Z6 3- the mechanical shutter. 24.5 megapixels, burst mode, colors, and dynamic range are pretty much identical. While it has only an electronic shutter, its readout speed is quite fast. So for daily shooting, the impact is minimal, and it is more than fine for everyday snapshots. Nikon's colors, straight auto camera, should suit most folks' needs. Of course, if you want more stylized tones. Nikon Imaging Cloud also offers tons of stylized presets for creators, basically in filters, that you can pick from and import straight into the camera for use. This is a feature unique among the big three right now. Of course, top-notch quality means super high bitrate, take its R3D format, 6K at 50 FPS at peak. Bitrate hits 3160 megabits per second, which is just insane. 1 terabyte lets you shoot just 43 minutes for 6K 20 bytes FPS R3D. 1 terabyte lasts 1 hour, 25 minutes. So if you are shooting short films or doing commercial gigs, you will need to grab a few 1 terabyte cards to have enough space. But for less demanding tasks like hero shooting, what about the H.265 encoded 10-bit NRAW format? This format is card friendly, only 1 gigabyte a minute. This bitrate is quite friendly and suits most daily shooting needs. For focus, its overall performance is solid, covering most scenarios. For instance, its AI autofocus supports common categories like people, animals, birds, vehicles, and planes, and tracking when shooting people is quite stable too. Oh, and one thing to note, Nikon's FC is not full-time focus. Its full-time focus mode is FF, which differs from other brands. For stabilization, when shooting handheld with no or little movement, it is pretty much good enough. As for overheating, at over 30 degrees Celsius right now, I shot on and off all day, I saw no overheating issues. This time, the Nikon ZR body builds built in 32-bit float internal recording, something that is quite rare at this price point. The mic offers 5 pickup directions to pick from, a feature found only on pro mics, and they have pretty much nailed. Its in-camera audio, I think, can meet most vloggers and recording needs. Here is the sound from the mic's front directional pickup. I'm right in front of it, so that's the sound from dead ahead. Plus this built-in toggle lets you zoom in on the focus point. So very practical and logical designed. So when using a manual lens, this is super handy. Plus it has a built-in waveform monitor that is great for exposure too. The common tools for video creation are quite comprehensive, largely living up to what a pro camera should be. So after all those pros, there are some minor downsides. First, it gives you a waveform monitor but no false color display. Adding that feature should not be too hard. Right, hopefully a firmware update will bring it in. Plus the port is a micro HDMI. Since this small rig cannot fit a full-sized one, that makes sense. And third, it lacks the ever-popular 3:2 open gate full frame mode. This mode would be super handy for those shooting both long and short form video. Hopefully a future firmware update will add in. Okay, so to wrap it up, for the Nikon ZR's price, you get such a wealth of RAME recording formats and RED's color science. Its value for money is outstanding. Paired with that 28 to 135 PZ, that electric zoom lens, the cinematic push-pull effect you get is something post-production just cannot mimic. If you prize image quality and color science highly, and low color grading imposed, like photography buffs, hobbyists, or semi-pro creators, then this rig's perfect for you. If you have just gotten super into video and want one camera to take you from newbie to pro, covering it all, then this VR is perfect for you. From entry-level to advanced. And if you're a pro photographer, it makes a perfect B camera for cinema work, too. Well, that wraps up our experience video on the Nikon ZR Post 28 to 135 PZ. Hope it helps you all out. Don't forget to triple combo. See you next time. Bye!